NUEL Folktales.
Bola fled from her husband's house that night into the street, barefoot, with only her nightwear. This kind of fleeing was that kind that her legs were touching the back of her head as she ran. Dem say na run wey no serious. Na woman dey run dey use hand dey hold breast. My Nigerian besties, please help us explain the meaning of that parable in English in the comment section. Bola ran to Mama Kola's house, the women leader in Adegbola market. When she got to her gate, she banged on the gate with all her might, screaming, "Iya! Iya oh! Help me!" Iya rushed out of her house to find Bola in chaos. She opened her gate and took her inside. When Bola entered Mama Kola's living room, she fell to the floor, crying bitterly. Iya was shocked to see Bola in that state. She asked what the problem was, but Bola couldn't talk. She couldn't explain what her eyes had seen in Dakbo's house. So she just sat there, crying, thinking about her life, and how she ignored the signs and warnings, and how she ended up in this mess. After crying for hours, she told Mama Kola what she saw. As she saw Dakbo weaving his own head on his lap, Bola told Kola about the strange dream she had been getting since she moved in with Dakbo, and how her husband kept bringing strange combs every time he went on a business trip. Bola finally revealed that the calamity in her salon started when she used one of the combs her husband gave to her to part little Tife's hair. Mama Kola's mouth fell open in shock. Eh? Bola, you mean you have been having this kind of dreams and you kept quiet? Why didn't you come to me? Bola, I warned you about this young man. He smiled too much. My spirit told me that there was something wrong with him from the beginning, Mama Kola said with worry on her face. Iya, help me oh. He said he's not done with me yet in the dream. Iya, I'm in trouble oh. Help me, Bola wailed. Mama Kola stared at Bola and sighed deeply. She had never seen or heard of this kind of case before. After long seconds of silence, she finally said, Bola, stop crying. I know a place, a very powerful prophet. He can save you from all this wahala. I will take you there tomorrow. When Bola heard those words, she felt a little bit reassured that maybe help was close, but she was wrong. The next day, Mama Kola didn't go to the market. She took Bola to her prophet's house in another part of Akure. When they arrived at the prophet's house, he told Bola that her husband was a spirit husband and that she was bound to him. The prophet prayed for Bola and gave her special incense to burn in her room at night to ward off the evil spirit. He told her to come back the next day to begin a 7-day spiritual cleansing exercise that would disconnect her and the spirit. And then Bola and Mama Kola returned home. But that night, as Bola closed her eyes to sleep, Dakpo came to her. It was not like in a dream or nightmare. No. He came to her physically in the guest room she was staying in Mama Kola's house. Bola could see him walking towards her on the bed with his usual sinister smile. She tried to scream, but no sound came out of her mouth. She tried to move her body, but it was like an invisible force was holding her down on the bed. Dakpo walked closer to her and sat close to her and said, "Did you think you can escape me? I'm not done with you yet. That fake prophet cannot help you. You have to keep braiding. They are waiting for you. If you stop, you and everyone around you will die, and no prophet can stop me. Keep braiding," he commanded, and vanished like breeze just as he appeared. When he left, Bola broke down in tears. She was in deep trouble and hot pepper soup, and she had no idea how to get out. But that was not the worst part. When they returned to the prophet's house for her spiritual cleansing exercise, they were told the prophet had died in his dream last night. One woman said he screamed out of his sleep and by the time his people came to check up on him, he was gone, lifeless. Bola collapsed on the floor in terror. It was then it dawned on her that Dapo was very serious. When she told Mama Kola what happened in the room last night, she screamed, "Yay! Bola, you can't stay here, oh. Come and be going to your father's house, oh. I don't want anything to happen to my children and I, oh. Please come and go." That day, Mama Kola gave her small transport money to go back to her village. As Bola left for the motor park, she remembered when she arrived in Akure years ago with her bag and her wooden combs. With big dreams, now she was returning to her village with nothing but the clothes on her back. When she arrived at her village, her parents were shocked to see their daughter looking battered and dejected. They asked what the problem was, but Bola couldn't get words out of her mouth to reply them. She just stared at her parents in tears and held her mother tightly. She was terrified to tell them anything after what happened to that prophet. That night, Dapo returned to Bola's room. "I told you can't escape me. You need to keep braiding. Go to the markets and keep braiding their hairs. They need more. They are waiting for you, Bola." The next night, Dapo came back with even more serious threats. He kept coming back physically every night to warn her to keep braiding. So one day, Bola got up and told her parents she was going back to the city, and she left. But she didn't go back to Akure. She went to another town far from home where nobody knew her, and then she opened a salon and started braiding. Her new salon quickly gathered customers because of how neat and stylish her braids were. People flocked to her shop. Women all gathered at her shop daily to get their heads done. It wasn't long that the town folks fell in love with Bola and her magic hands. But shortly afterwards, the disaster started. Just like in the case of Adegbola Market in Akure, one day, the first child fainted on her braiding chair. Then 2 children fainted. Then 5 children. And then one day, 2 children who came to our shop to braid their hairs the previous day slept and never woke up. When Bola saw that calamity had begun, she fled the town that night and went to another town to start all over again. And then another town. And then another town. And for 2 years, Bola moved like a Fulani herdsman from one village to another, one town to another, one village market to another village market, just to braid children's hair to please her spirit husband Dapo. And every night, Dapo kept appearing to her, sometimes through her dreams, other times, "See me see you korokoro eye." Bola, who was once a big woman with girls and customers, became a shadow of herself, living like a rat from one town to another, isolated from her friends and family. Bola tried to get help several times, but each time it backfired. On one occasion, Bola was invited to a church program by one of her customers. Bola confided in the woman that she had a spirit husband, and the woman invited her for night vigil. Bola went to the night vigil, and the prayer warriors prayed for her. After that prayer session, she was confident that Dapo was gone for good. But when she returned home the next day, Dapo visited her in her dream and gave her a very dirty slap in her right ear. "How dare you try to escape me? I'm not done with you yet. Keep braiding," he thundered in the dream. Bola screamed out of her dream in pain, and she couldn't hear with her right ear for months. She visited several native doctors, but it was like Dapo was more powerful than them all. Every day, Bola cried her life bitterly. She felt stuck with no hope of escape, and she had no choice but to keep braiding children's hair when she knew that some of them will mysteriously meet their end eventually. Bola felt dirty and filthy, and every day she kept calling on God to save her from Dapo, because every day she was losing her sanity gradually, and her life, her youth, was slowly slipping away from her. One day, Bola arrived in a new town in Ibadan called Ajibade, a fresh town to get fresh souls for Dakpo. When she got there, she went around the village to scout for a place to plant her salon, to begin her activities, just as she had been doing in all the other villages she had been to. Bola did her research and asked questions around the village, and she found out that there were no good hairdressing salon in the village. The local hairdressers did their business from their houses, and competition was very low. That same week, Bola got a shop very close to a small church and started a salon business. She painted the salon a signature bright pink and white with a big signboard that said, Bees Air Empire. And just like that, business started. The very first day she opened, a little girl named Naomi came with her mother to do simple shuku style for school. Naomi was the sharp 8-year-old girl. She was the new pastor's daughter who just arrived to Ajibade that day. As soon as Bola touched Naomi's head, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. She couldn't explain it. It was as if all the dirt in her body was suddenly just washed away, like a heavy burden was lifted off her shoulders. Bola braided Naomi's hair with extra care and attention. She took her time, braiding slowly, just to continue to enjoy that moment of peace she was feeling. And after she was done, she didn't collect money from Naomi's mother. She told them that they were her first customer, so it was free of charge. Auntie Bola, thank you. God bless you, ma. Mama Naomi said as she thanked Bola and they left. After that encounter, Bola burst into uncontrollable tears. She fell to the floor in her salon and wept like a baby. She had never felt this kind of peace as she felt when she braided Naomi's hair in a very long time. It was like the little girl had a stronger power around her. When she finally gathered herself, she got up and closed her shop and went straight home to the one-bedroom apartment she rented. That night, Bola slept like a baby for the first time in 2 years. She didn't dream about Dakpo. Dakpo didn't appear to her. All she felt was peace and a sweet sleep. The next day, Bola went to her salon and many customers came to her shop to braid their hairs. At first, she was scared that somebody's child would soon faint on her braiding chair. But nothing happened. The day went by like any other normal day for a normal hairstylist. Then the next day came and went and nothing happened. No fainting, no area boys, no chaos. And so was the next day. Then 1 month passed. 2 months passed. It was like film trick for Bola. She had never lasted more than a month in a village before Dakpo usually strikes. Bola started hoping that maybe she was free now from Dakpo's manipulation. But she never fully unpacked her bags. Everything was always ready in case she needs to flee when the villagers discovers her secret. Bola never bought furniture or electronics. Her room was empty except for a mat for sleeping and a small pot and a stove for cooking food. She had no major savings because she was always on the run. But this time in Ajibade, it felt like things were going to be different. 3 months passed without any chaos or calamity. But just as she was thinking she was finally free from Dakpo, one night, she had a dream where she was back at her salon in Akure. The salon was dark with strange markings on the wall. The lights were flickering. The air was thick. And Bola found herself sitting on her own braiding chair, and someone or something was braiding her hair at a very fast speed. Bola tried to free herself, but it was like something powerful was holding her down on her chair. The figure tightened its grip on Bola's hair, and it was like her scalp was on fire. Then the figure that was braiding her hair turned to Dakpo. He was staring at her through the mirror, smiling with his usual signature smile. "I told you to keep braiding," he said with a strange voice. "Why did you stop braiding? I told you there will be consequences if you stop braiding. Now you will pay with your life." Suddenly, Bola was back in her small room, laying on her mat, gasping for air. It was like someone or something was choking the life out of her. Bola lay there struggling for her life. thinking that this was the end, thinking that this was where she would die, when suddenly she heard a knock on her door. Immediately the hand stroking her freed her. The knock came again, and then voices. Auntie Bola! Auntie Bola! It was Naomi's voice. Bola struggled to answer and then dragged herself from her mat to open the door. There she saw Naomi and her parents standing in front of her door. Auntie Bola, are you okay? I had a strange dream about you, Naomi said. And Bola burst into tears, sobbing uncontrollably as she fell to the floor. Auntie Bola, are you okay? Why are you crying? Naomi asked as she came close to Bola and pat her on the head, trying to console her. Immediately, Bola felt a wave of relief wash over her again, just like that first day at her salon. Auntie Bola, Kilode, I can tell you are very troubled, Pastor Shegun, Naomi's father, said. We have been inviting you to come to church, but you refused. Bring your heavy burden before Jesus and be free, he said with a low voice. Bola turned to him and replied amidst her tears, Pastor, you don't understand. You won't understand. This man wants to finish my life. I have lost everything. I have sacrificed many children just to please him. But now he wants to take my life, Bola said. We may not understand what you are going through, but God understands. He is your creator and is the only one that can set you free indeed, Mama Naomi replied. That night, Bola opened her mouth and revealed everything that she had been through, how she had a big business in Akure and how Dapo walked into her life and turned everything upside down. She told them how she had been living from hand to mouth with no savings, no friends, no home, nothing, just isolated from everybody. Pastor Shegu and his wife listened carefully with patience, and when Bola finished narrating her ordeal, the pastor began. Auntie Bola, this is a clear case of satanic manipulation. You are bound by marriage to his kingdom. That is why it has been so difficult to free yourself from him. When you braided his hair in your salon in Akure, you indirectly entered into a covenant with him. And when you married him in the physical realm, your covenant was cemented. And he won't leave you until he has drained everything from you. And by then, you might be too old to even braid anybody's hair. But there's good news. Jesus is still the same yesterday, today and forever. He would set you free and you will be free indeed. All you need to do is fix your eyes on him, your helper and your deliverer, and everything will be fine. That night, Naomi laid her hands on Bola's head and prayed a simple prayer. Oh Lord, bless Auntie Bola, give her peace, remove everything that is bothering her, and cover her with your precious blood. Amen. There was no loud violent prayers or special deliverance session. Naomi's simple and sincere prayers was all it took for the chains that held Bola back for years to be broken. And Bola felt it. She felt the chains that held her bound to Dapo break. That night, Bola burst into fresh rounds of tears. But this time, it was not tears of frustrations or pain. It was tears of liberation and new beginnings. From that night, Bola never saw Dapo ever again, not physically or through dreams. The next Sunday, Bola went to Pastor Shegun's church and rededicated her life to God and vowed to never leave again. All those years in Akure, she never served God. Her business was her God. Money was her God. Her customers who queued up every day to braid their hairs were her gods. And now that she had seen life in a very hard way, she vowed to never leave God's side. Bola dropped her comb and retired from her hairdressing business. She told herself it was time to move on. That evening, she called her mother for the first time in 2 years. Hello, Iya mi, Bola said over the phone. When Mama Bola heard her voice, she froze. It was her child's voice, who she thought was probably dead by now. She couldn't believe her ears. Hello, Tani? Mama Bola asked. Mommy, it is me, Bola, your daughter. Mama Bola screamed out, Jesus! Bola Tito, is that you? I never thought I would ever hear your voice again before I leave this world. Bola, is this really you? Mama Bola asked again in tears and disbelief. Mommy, it's me. Bola, where are you? Where have you been? What happened to you? We have not heard or seen you in 2 years. We went to Akure to find you, but we couldn't find you. We went to your house to look for you, but we couldn't find you, Odapo. What happened to you, my daughter? Mommy, it is a very long story. I'm coming home. I will tell you everything when I see you. That night, Bola packed her small bag and went to Pastor Shegun's house to tell them that she was going back to her village. The pastor and his family prayed for Bola and they exchanged contacts to keep in touch. And early morning the next day, Bola carried her bag and went home to her family, to her newborn again life, to her new beginning, to start life afresh with God. When she got to her village, to her father's house, she hugged her parents tightly. Mama Bola couldn't believe her eyes that Bola had returned in flesh and blood. She cried as she held her daughter. That night, Bola told them all she went through in the hands of Dapo and how God delivered her using an 8-year-old girl. Her parents cried as they listened to their daughter's tales of life, and they rejoiced that she returned and she survived. A few months later, Bola started a small hair accessory and hair product business where she sold different things like relaxers, conditioners, hair bands, and the likes. And she added small snacks and perfume to the front to support. This time, she held God strong with both hands, never letting go. Thank you for watching. This story is for that one man or one woman who feels completely, utterly overwhelmed with life circumstances. It feels like you have reached rock bottom with nowhere else to go. But guess what? There's hope. There's a way out. All you need to do is to come back to your Creator and pour out all your burdens on Him and start afresh with Him. Don't give up. You can't afford to give up. What morals have you learned from the story? Let me know in the comment section below. If you are just tuning in to this channel for the first time, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up if you haven't done so by now. And until I bring another juicy and interesting story your way again, bye for now.